And of course, now it's on East 7th Street, but yeah, that's where these pants are from, actually. They're from their own label, from Trash and Vaudeville.
Cool. All right, let's continue walking.
Yeah, so we're going to go.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you. We'll be back. Okay. It's Christmas time, so we're not going to go inside. Obviously, there's a line. But I want to point out this wonderful mom and pop business. It's Puerto Rico Importing, which has been in business, as you can see, since 1907.
Quite a while.
And yeah, I'll just show you. This is their original location. And what happened is this is owned by, you think Puerto Rico and you're like, okay, is that, are they the person from Puerto Rico? Or right. What is it? But no.
Porto.
Exactly. It's not
Italian.
Porto, it's Porto. And it was basically not only like coffee and tea place, but it was like a little Italian kind of a grocery store. Like they sold olive oils and different things, you know, to make an Italian meal.
Right.
So it's owned by Peter Longo, and you know, that's his like grandparents actually lived above the store. So it was like a true mom and pop business. Like they lived above it. And they used to do all the roasting of their coffee right in the back of the store. But of course, with modern pollution laws, that's not allowed anymore.
Very difficult.
So they do all the roasting. They do roast their own blends and everything like that. They do that in Williamsburg now, in an industrial. Yeah, it's zoned for that. So they have an industrial kind of like a warehouse where they do all that.
Yeah.
But this is their original store. Now that door is open, you can smell it, right? You can smell the freshly roasted coffee. It smells so wonderful.
It's very,
if you
very
spend like more than a few minutes in there, I think your clothes will start smelling of coffee. But they also have lots of teas as well. So if you're a tea person, they have many beautiful, beautiful tea blends. Really wonderful place.
Wonderful. Family-owned
business, and yeah, we always try to help support them. Yes, hi.
Nice.
And who's this?
That's Tango.
Tango, hello.
This is Hudson.
Oh, look, they're tangoing. Is that why you named Tango?
No, I didn't name him. He came with that when I was after him.
Well, they're doing the tango, aren't they? Oh, they like each other. Thank you. You're amazing.
All right, let's continue walking.
Yeah. That's the original location of Joe's Pizza, which is our next stop. Joe's Pizza was founded in 1975, right in the corner of Bleecker and Carmine, by Joe Vazzola. So he was an immigrant from Italy. In 1975, he opened his first pizzeria, and they have like the classic New York slice. So it's your thin pizza and classic. Right, that's how we'll eat it. Like anybody that's a New Yorker, you don't use a fork and knife, you fold your slice. So we're gonna go get a classic slice from Joe's. And this is the story of why they're not on the corner anymore. Because in 2005, they had a huge rent increase. And in fact, their greedy landlord wanted, and this is from Joe told me this himself,
right,
a $1.5 million guarantee to stay at that corner spot.
That's expensive.
Not only because with the rent increase, but they also wanted $1.5 million.
Right.
I mean, that's insane. So he said, "The hell with that," and moved down the street. And this is where he's been ever since.
Oh, here it is, Joe's Pizza. Always my top recommendation for classic quintessential New York City slice.
Yeah, and they actually have a couple of other locations now. They have one in Williamsburg, and they have one on 14th Street near Union Square, and one I think by Times Square now too, close by, somewhere around that. I remember walking and seeing it. So here we are. Now, usually, I'm going to tell you guys, usually Joe's is packed.
Usually
Yes.
it is. Yeah, it's a very big
It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or Tuesday, I mean, especially on the weekends, there will be a line out the door. But because of coronavirus pandemic, you know, unfortunately business has been affected. You see many, many famous customers over the years have eaten here. Hi guys! Okay. So I think we have to get a classic slice. What do you think? Okay, we're gonna get a classic slice. Yes, please. Are we each gonna get a slice, or you? Okay, one each. So put in two for us, please.
And all these celebrities here, we have Bill Murray, we have Rosario Dawson, who's Ashoka in Mandalorian. I'm not gonna mention him. Leonardo DiCaprio. We have Kiefer Sutherland, who is from 24 fame. We have a bunch of celebrities. That's amazing.
Oh, and I like to point out that's the corner location. Actually, our photo of it appears in our Storefront: The Disappearing Face of New York book. It's part of our gatefold. We photographed the whole entire block along Bleecker Street, all the way from Carmine, all the way past Cornelia Street. So a lot of the businesses, sadly, you know, we'll walk down it and I'll point out a lot of them are now gone. But at least Joe's, it was a success that they were able to find a spot nearby. So this was just a couple of 100 feet down from their original spot.
Thank you. Next, please.
Okay, so here it comes out.
So you've come over here and filmed before?
Yeah, but we've got them making a whole pie.
Oh, cool.
We know Joe and we know. Okay, we're gonna pay for that. Hold on, we gotta get a shot of it first.
Next.
Thank you.
All right, you grab the slice.
Okay, here I go. I gotta keep it away from Hudson, otherwise he's gonna want it.
Both James and Carla have a YouTube channel. They do. And it's amazing because it's just like their book. So just as I wanted to mention in the beginning, Carla and James have written a book and photographed a book called Storefronts. That's the subtitle.
Storefront: The Disappearing Face in New York is the first book, and then we have a follow-up, Storefront 2, A History Preserved. But this Joe's original location when it was on the corner is in our first book, because that's the older one. That came out in 2008 is the pub date.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so.
The link is in the description below if you guys want to check out the book.
Thanks, Ariel.
Highly recommend it.
So, okay, mask off because we have to eat.
Carlos, step out of the shadow.
I'm so excited for this.
Oh, step out of the shadow. Oh, yeah, he wants to get us a photograph of
Oh,
us.
yeah.
Photographed the storefront of the original location of Joe's. It was 35mm film.
Oh,
that's how old our photo was. It was from 2001.
I like the look of it. All right, let's try it out the pizza.
All right, we gotta go for it. So, like I said, we're gonna fold it up. It's so massive. Look at that. Thin crust. Here we go. Going in.
That was a cheese pull. Wow.
Oh, it's so good.
Absolutely love these slices because for me, I grew up watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was a famous show in the 1990s and movies. And they always show the pizza with super cheesy, with the pepperoni and everything. And a lot of other TV shows and famous movies show that type of pizza, like Spider-Man. This is where you find that type of pizza. Because you can find other types of more expensive, more kind of typical Italian style pizzas, but no, this is typical New York. Yeah.
Definitely. Just a cheese, sauce, and dough, right?
Right.
Keep it simple.
And it's not just merely sauce, it's sauce, like us people in New York City sometimes say. All right. And I love how kind of creamy it is, and the cheese is just like uniformly blanketing over the pizza. Yeah. All right, a few more bites.
I'm I'm gonna save a piece for Hudson because Hudson is a big pizza connoisseur. I would say Hudson's favorite food is pizza.
We'll show Hudson eating a pizza soon. I also love how the sauce is pretty sweet as well. For pizza, like what's the difference between what was your first experience with New York City pizza?
Definitely growing up just like this. Yeah,
like
for
this.
sure. Definitely.
In the Bronx, right? There was a lot of like old school Italian places making it from the steel ovens.
There was. I mean, and I remember along the Grand Concourse there was a lot of you know, Italian pizzerias, but
Diana.
Right.
Remember Diana?
Diana. It was right by the movie theater because we used to go see you know, big movies at the Lowe's, which is the Lowe's Paradise. Really old movie theater.
One of the 6 Paradise theaters in New York City.
Exactly.
Yeah, along with the Kings.
Yeah, and in fact, my father, when he graduated from high school, that's where they had his high school graduation was at the Lowe's Paradise. Yeah.
Oh, that's a big Grand Concourse. So you can watch my live video of the tour of the Grand Concourse.
Oh, you did a tour there?
I did, yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
And talked about the theater, and apparently a lot of people said there was a famous ice cream parlor in the front, across the street, that a lot of locals used to go.
I'll have to ask my dad about that because that might be like even older than my time.
I think that was around 50s, 60s.
Oh yeah. I'll
Carla should give Ariel a tour of the Bronx. Ooh, maybe soon. Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea.
So let's feed Hudson and continue with our walk.
Perfect. Yes, let's give Hudson a little bit.
Go for it.
Pizza. Catch. All right.
Oh, he's very good. Wow.
Should we do it again?
Yeah, let's do it one
Another
more time.
He's gifted.
Frame, Ariel. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay, sit. He's giving the please paw. Okay, sit. Ready? Catch. He loves his pizza.
Tremendously gifted.
Oh, yes.
So wonderful.
All right, here we go.
Cheese is used on most New York City pizza.
Mozzarella. They definitely, it's not a blend of cheeses here at Joe's for their classic slice. It's definitely straight mozzarella because I've watched them make it.
Which way are we going?
We're gonna go back on Bleecker Street, so I'm putting my mask back on. We're done. So I think we paid a small donation, but it was like essentially it was free because we gave us all these valuable things that we have to pay for at the veterinary. And we saved the pastry shop.
Ah, I see.
And you can see it's been in business since 1974. And oh my God, I'm smelling the cannolis.
I am smelling from out here.
Three-fronted. So this is not how it looked originally on the outside. Like they modernized and they made it a more of a glass storefront. It looked a little differently even when we photographed it back in 2001. But they make everything.
It was very recent.
The original owner, he passed away, but his children are running the business. So
Let's take a look, yeah.
Oh, let's go
Here, hon.
inside. Hudson's staying outside for this one. Oh, wow. Oh, look
really
at
good.
Look at the gingerbread.
We're going to take the table outside.
Oh my God, my glasses are fogging up. I can barely see, but oh look.
And what's your recommendation for anyone who's coming here?
Well, I always I feel like Italian pastry shop, the two things they should be able to make well is number one, a cannoli, and their sfogliatelle, which is...
This one over here? The small one?
Yeah, well, I always point to the bigger one, and that's this is not that easy to make because it's like a very flaky, it's like almost like the phyllo dough,
Right.
and it's definitely a hallmark. But
And here we have cannoli shells, which they'll put
Yes.
in once you order.
yes, that's the nice thing about here is that when you get a cannoli, it's not already pre-filled. They pipe it.
Oh, yeah.
They pipe it for you. So, oh my God! And of course the cheesecake. But I barely can. We just had pizza. I'm not ready for a whole cheesecake right now. But look at that. Look at that. Cannoli chip tray. Oh wow! I've never never seen that before. Okay, here we go. Going in.
Go ahead, let's do it. So chocolate covered cannoli, but they stuff it fresh, which
Right,
is key to a good cannoli, because if you have it sitting there for hours with cream inside, then it might not be the best shot.
Right, I mean this one is a cannoli cream with chocolate chips in it.
Right.
So extra good.
And we call it here cannoli because we're not in Italy. This is America. It's not cannolo.
Look at that.
So the cream is amazing.
The shell itself, the cannoli shell, you can taste is so fresh, and I mean it looks to me like they make these by hand too, because some places, you know, they'll just buy them pre-made, but I believe that these are made by hand, and then you can see it's definitely hand dipped, the chocolate.
It
and
is.
then I'm gonna get an extra little filling.
Oh wow, that chocolate has a nice kick to it. Right.
So this was the original location of Murray's Cheese.
Oh, this was Murray's Cheese. Wow.
This was Murray's Cheese.
So what is Murray's Cheese, so people know? Because it's famous among New Yorkers.
Right, Murray founded in 1940, and it was founded by Murray Greenberg, hence the Murray's Cheese. So it's actually founded by a Jewish immigrant.
Okay.
And he started his own, like, basically dairy shop. So they sold milk and cheese in the beginning. And its original location was actually a little even further down the street here on Cornelia Street. And then they moved to this corner location. And when we photographed it in 2001, it was right here on the corner. It was very tiny, because as you can see,
It is. Step back.
this was, when you peek inside the current store, which is just like a, you know, smoke and bake shop. That's it. It was just that small little, I mean, this corner has come and gone a couple of times.
Look, and now it's Zito's, huh?
And right next door, I want to show you,
Up above, see the stained glass?
this was where Zito's Italian bakery was. And you can see like the tile. If you can poke, if you come back over here, you can see it even runs.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Beautiful tiling. Wow.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. It was an old Italian bakery.
We see a little bit of tiling inside the lobby of the...
Let's come and look at that. That's fantastic. Look at the hand-laid tile. Oh, Hudson will point it out.
Hudson sniffs the tile.
Yes. And this Zito's was a beloved Italian bakery, and we really loved their lard bread.
Right.
So what we've come to do is, like, when you're on a budget, you try to like stretch things out.
Lard bread is very filly.
Yeah, lard bread, for people that aren't familiar, it has like flecks of prosciutto in it.
Yeah.
So it's like almost like it acts as its own preservative. So it keeps for a while. So it doesn't like go stale right away. So you can buy a loaf, you can have some for lunch, you can have some for dinner, you can have some the next day and the next day. And it fills you up because it has that prosciutto in it too. So unfortunately they closed, but they had a coal-fired oven in the basement. And if you came here like early in the morning, you could just smell, you know, the freshly baked bread. It was amazing.
The socialist bookstore is still open.
Yes, yes.
The anti-imperialist.
Exactly. And this out in 1940, they only sold basically most of the Italian cheeses because they were catering to the Italian neighborhood, but they have cheeses from around the world.
Right.
In fact, they've expanded so much that we've actually taken a cheese cave tour. They actually have a big cheese cave warehouse, kind of say, in Long Island City. And James and I have taken a tour of it and photographed it as well. It's amazing. They have like all the different cheese caves. So they like have an alpine cave that simulates like how aged cheese like in the Alpine Mountains.
Right.
They have their like bloomy rind cave like for the the soft cheeses like the brie and things like that. And it's amazing. You get to taste them too. And they do, when it wasn't coronavirus, they do classes here at the store, like teaching you like about pairing wines with cheeses and all these innovative things. And also they have a class like how to make mozzarella cheese.
Oh, cool.
Which actually next door at Faicco's, they make their own homemade mozzarella.
Let's show it.
Yeah, so let's go show over there now.
You did it. You did it in the store. You ripped out the old ones and put the new ones in.
Was founded in 1900.
Right.
By Eduardo Faicco. So he immigrated here from Italy, and I happened to interview the fourth generation owners of their brothers, and when I interviewed them, I said, you know, was your family like in the sausage making business back in Italy? Because that's what they're known for, is their fresh pork sausage. So that's another reason people are probably online, is to get the sausage, you know, for Christmas. When we interviewed Louis Faicco, I said to him, oh, you know, you guys make such a great Italian pork sausage. You know, was your family always making pork sausage back in Italy? He said no. What happened was, when his great-grandfather immigrated from Italy, he lived in the Lower East Side, because like that's where everybody moved to, like in the early, you know, late 1800s. Greenwich Village was like a country hamlet. You know, there wasn't really anybody around here except for wealthy people with estates. You know, the bulk of the population lived, you know, further downtown. So he moved to the Lower East Side, and he went to a pork sausage place just to get a taste of home. You know, just buy a sausage. And when he got home, he found a splinter in it. You know, like a piece of bone was in the sausage.
Oh, no.
And he went crazy.
This would be very unpleasant.
He marched right back to the pork shop, and he started yelling at them in Italian, like, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to make a sausage, how dare you, you know, give me a sausage with a splinter in it. And he was so upset that he said to the guy, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open my own store because you don't know how to make sausage, and I'm going to put you out of business. And that's exactly what he did. So he just taught himself, you know, like I guess in his family, everybody like knew how to make a sausage back in Italy, but that wasn't what their family business was. But he was so mad about getting that splinter in his sausage that on Elizabeth Street, he opened up his own butcher shop, made his own pork sausage, and he ended up putting that guy out of business. So that's the story of how Faicco's happened. So we thought that was like the most amazing story, because it was kind of like done out of spite.
Yeah.
You know? Like you started a whole family empire because of spite, because you were mad at somebody else. So I was like, oh my God, I can imagine that conversation of him like, you know, screaming at that guy in Italian,
Right.
you don't know what you're doing, like, you get out of here, I'm gonna put you out of business. So yeah, ever since then they make their own pork sausage every day at the store, fresh pork sausage. They also sell aged sausage. They don't do that here at this store. They have another store in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
And that's where they do the aging of the sausage, because that acquire, you know, different equipment. Like it's not, they couldn't do the aging process here, you know, in Greenwich Village.
Customers can visit?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but it's even bigger than this one. It's a really big store, and they own the whole property. But still, they need the customers. You know, people think, oh, they own the building, they're fine, they're set.
Oh,
No, you still have to pay taxes. You still have to pay employees. You know, there's expensive. So don't be like, oh my God, I don't worry about this business just because they own the building. You know, you have to. There's always, you know, stuff that comes with owning a building. Yeah, you can see it's just 4 stories. So there's a couple of apartments above it. You know, the family did live above the building originally. But then they built that store in Bensonhurst, so I mean they moved out to Brooklyn. But that's what's really nice. You know, they should be able to just run downstairs and make their sausage in the morning.
I see.
From your experience, what would have been a small business that
Either this year or the